A lot of the foam rollers have different curves, different designs. This is the Rollga, and it has these valleys inside here. It's such a great little addition to create a nuance to a foam roller. These valleys are going to create pressure along the calf, so when B's going through his foam rolling on those calves, he has that little bit of a deeper roll. How's that feel? Good. Again, you can also stack here. I find with a lot of these Rollgas, you don't even have to lift your hips. You can even put the hips down and you'll still get a pretty significant dig into the calves. Moving left to right or really finding different edges of the channel along the roller are gonna help. So you can get a little bit of that edge along the shin. I would also do some pumping of the gas and the brakes around the ankle. That's gonna create some tension change in the calf and the soleus as well. But what a great way to release all this lower leg compartment. So again, just kneeling right into those channels, those edges will dig right along that shin bone. And once you find a good hot spot, take your time on that spot. Breathe, maybe even pump the brakes, hit the gas around the feet, just to create that active release. It's what's called an active release along that muscle. Moving your hips side to side, really shifting and painting the whole lower leg. Takes 60 to 90 seconds to do this for maximum results. Here we're doing a soft tissue mobilization with using the Rollga foam roller for the back of the legs and hamstrings. Now, I actually love the channels here to dig extra in those hamstrings. I even go to the back of the knees here because those tendons that cover the back of the knees get some extra love with those creases. You know, since we've got some great range of motions at the shoulders, take advantage of that range. It's all about core control. It's all about breathing and letting the muscle relax for 60 to 90 seconds here. I'd like doing clocks with the feet too to find different angles along that ridge. Yeah, fantastic. You can stack the legs if you want to get extra deep too on a particular hammy. Have some fun. The edges of the Rollga foam roller are fantastic for glute release, just to get a little bit of that extra depth into the hip joint. Now, having these edges in the Rollga, you don't necessarily have to put the foot up onto the knee, but you can. You can still get in that. Sweet, other one. Yeah. That's the one I want. That's the hip. Now that's a lot. So on this one, we'll just be careful of this deepest position. But he's got it. Knee movement up and down to help release a little of that hip, or a lot of that body rolling. Other ways to take advantage of those edges. 60 to 90 seconds, have some fun. Again, let's take advantage of these Rollga, the channels in the Rollga on our foam rolling while we foam roll the quads. So again, we'll start off with this great plank position in a nice, smooth fashion, just going up and down. But once we find a hot spot, my boy B's gonna pause, and he's gonna do some active release, maybe some movement around the knees. You don't have to do both legs, you can do one leg at a time. You know, all these different motions are gonna create different core engagement and different releases on your lower body. I love how he's turning his body and moving. It really creates a different kind of activation throughout and a different release throughout as well. Great for the knees, great for the hips. Spend at least 60 to 90 seconds inside here for maximum results. One of the unique properties to this Rollga is these rounded edges here. So my boy B is going to get his groin, not only a roll and release, but also a stretch. So we're going to choose a frog position, which is the knees out. He's just resting on his forearms, and right here, the pressure already is going to light him up. Okay, and you can increase that pressure or decrease that pressure. Just start with maybe some cat-cows in the spine. So watch, already just moving this up and down, doing some spinal waves. He's going to have some huge tissue release down below. It is really, his spinal waving is causing that movement back and forth. Great for hip rotation, releasing the groin, overall warming the body up or cooling the body down. I'd aim for 60 to 90 seconds to really get the best release and activation. Now with the unique design of this Rollga foam roller, we're also going to get pec release, chest, shoulder, and pec release. And all you have to do is just kind of drive your body weight into it. Notice we're in a quadruped type position, and my boy B is just pushing his body right into the roller, creating that soft tissue mobilization while he moves his arm. You find a good hot spot, take your time. Spend some time doing some extra elbow movements, doing some extra movement over here at the glenohumeral joint. All of this will have huge improvements for mobility and stability throughout the core. Now the Rollga foam roller has the channels that make it especially nice for any of the neck release. Here you can get to a little bit deeper of the neck, maybe even the sternocleidomastoid, this little line along the side of the neck gets so tight for anybody with neck stuff. But right there, same kind of principles. I want to create pressure, breathe well, and then once I have a good spot, I want to move upon it to release it. All right? These are good active release techniques for the neck. And you want to make sure you get all the way up into the bone too, where it feels like that soft tissue meets the base of the skull. That's one of the hottest spots. So make sure you get up in there and give me some head bobs left to right. Maybe say yes and no with the chin. You can even open and close your mouth. And that'll also affect the musculature around the neck. Remember, muscles happen all around the sides of the neck and the face too, so you can go ahead and appreciate those ridges and use those ridges for either right here in your mandible, here at your temporalis, or just the side of your neck, period. All of it is good. Yeah, spend some quality time with this stuff, especially after the workouts, all right? Getting your clients through and they're all tight, loosening their neck up for the rest of the day is gonna keep them happy. Just like a lot of our techniques, keeping and doing this for 60 to 90 seconds for best results. Now the Rollga foam roller is great for the lateral compartment of the leg. You know, a lot of our athletes that have cutting movements, a lot of shuffling movements are gonna be tight on the outside. Now, finding a hot spot is important because once you do, you want to have like an active release, maybe bending and flexing the knee, doing a leg raise, or doing a roll and rotation upon that. Just notice how broad, yep, just a little bit of that roll because those ridges really dig in. And so these movements, you'll find a little bit extra. Aim for 60 to 90 seconds, all the way from knee to the hip. The Rollga foam roller lat release is superb. The channels create this dig into like that rib cage, that lat area that's very unique. Now, when you find a good spot, I always tell my clients, do some snow angels, work some rotation in the shoulder. You're really improving that upper body mobility by loosening what's happening down below. Now, the position of the body is important to maintain that integrity because I want you working on some of these rolls and rotations. It is very important to pivot along these tight muscles so that they release. Not only that, you get great core activation. Try to do this for at least 60 to 90 seconds because you're affecting motor control, but anywhere up and down that chain. Great job. Make sure you do both sides. The upper back work with the Rollga is great because the channels allow a little bit deeper of a roll and a little bit, hopefully sometimes even a little bit more of a mobilization along the spine. A lot of my clients end up getting little pops sometimes, little cracks when they do this because of that. Now going in through these flexion and extension movements on the spine is great because you'll feel the channel underneath the spine. So going through and moving in these kind of patterns is a little bit comfortable or uncomfortable.
Shit ain't comfortable.
And now let's go ahead and move our elbows side to side, and really trying to get the foam roll, the Rollga, to feel like it's kneading the back muscles. You feel that? How it's like that, those channels kind of grip on those, I guess what would be the erectors, spinal erectors. Beautiful. Spend 60 to 90 seconds while back here, but also one thing you don't want to neglect is ground the hips and then place this roller right in the mid-back. And try to have your clients just touch the back of their head to the ground without having them lift their hips. Okay? Do this for about 60 to 90 seconds just to help with extension. Extension is a pattern that a lot of us have lost just because of where we are in our day-to-day lives. So getting those shoulders and the spine to move back will help alleviate some of that tension and open up that range of motion for our body.